Alright guys, this video is going to be the different smoke spots for Viper on Split. I'm going to start with the attacker side because I think it's the most important. Because this is a really defender-sided map. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start with your curtain. This cubby is the source for two really good curtain spots. I like the one that goes mid. You can see in the top left the teal line up there. What you want to do is don't go too right to where it cuts off this little corner right here. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. But you want to angle it left to where it actually slips past the corner right there. And I'll show you what it looks like from that side. Walk my way all the way around. So your team is going to start right here, right? Maybe 3 stack and do 2 over there by you. But they're going to start working towards here. You're going to pop your smoke whenever you get it ready. Your team's going to work their way up. And then you're going to bring it down. They're going to be ready to just blast whoever's right here, right? And they just get a quick mid to A. And that's my favorite because mid control on this map is probably the most important. Okay, so smoke number 2, coming from attacker side again. What you're going to do is you're going to come over this spot over here. You see this tree? You're going to want it to be about halfway up this building. And you're going to want this little limb not quite touching the crease of the wall, right? You press E and you're going to aim right at this line right here. And you can see up in the top left the teal arrow. You want it to look like that. If you aim too far to the left on the lawn, it's going to go there and it's not going to quite smoke off heaven. But if you aim to the left, that should smoke off heaven for me. And boom, it does. The only thing is there's going to be a small gap at the very end that doesn't get smoked off. But it's really not that big of a deal. So you see here, that whole thing gets smoked off, curtained off. And then this whole thing gets curtained off. It's just this little gap right here. No one's really going to peek through this anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. The only thing you have to worry about whenever you come in on site is one, I would swing wide right here. Check this angle. Come back left, and then you're going to wide swing everything else. You usually don't have to worry about people there, but that's the easiest way to take A in my opinion.
30 seconds left.
Make them big.
Alright, we got another smoke over here. This is actually a curtain. So there's 2 different ways to do this. This is the fastest, and this is how I like it. So I'll explain this a little more whenever I get it up. So if you can see the teal, I want it to cut across that L-shaped raised platform right there, right? So a lot of people think you can actually smoke heaven from right there, or curtain heaven from right there. You actually can't. This is actually what it looks like, right? Which doesn't look that great, but really all you have to do is throw down your key right there, and then obviously you're going to walk through after it pops. Once you get here, no one can do anything from you heaven or even if they drop down. So it's really good to keep sight while you're planting. So this is perfect. Oh, I didn't explain this well enough. So the reason I like to cut it across right there is because this right here is overhung by that right there. So you can't actually get your little, whatever those are called, spikes in here to wall off heaven completely. So the best you can do is get it across this. That way it walls off some of heaven, but you still have to worry about this. If you smoke that right there, then you're fine. But a lot of people will try to cheat it closer and closer and get it on this. It doesn't actually work there. You're still going to have this whole angle open. So just make sure you cheat it back so whenever you get on site, you have this whole thing smoked off.
30 seconds left.
Look them in the eyes when you
Okay,
kill them.
I think this is going to be my last smoke for... I'll actually show you 2 more. So this is my favorite smoke in the game. It's the most busted smoke in the game. What you're going to do is you're going to back yourself up to this little corner right here. Press Q. You're going to aim up. And it's going to be right in between this corner right here and this corner right here. Right in the center. Now, this is a very, very small window to work with. But if you cheat it down more and more and to the right more and more, it's going to be more of a perfect smoke. I just do it very slightly down and to the right. And you can see where that lands. Boom. Right on window. So this should smoke off heaven for you. Now you can see there is a little gap right here. The more you shoot it down and to the right, the less of a gap this is. But even right here, there's nothing you can see through. Maybe if you angle yourself perfectly right here, when the smoke dissipates randomly, you can see a little bit of a hedge of someone coming through. But even then, it doesn't really work out. But I'll show you where this is. So you see how close this is to the corner? You really have no room to work with. So really just going right and down a little bit could get it here. And then you have just a little bit less of a gap right here. So yeah, you can see how close this is to not being there. So you really got to be perfect with it if you're going to use that smoke right there.
30 seconds left.
Who to smother first?
And then the only other thing you're going to do for attacker side, you can come over into this. Say your team has mid control or something, you're trying to take B control. You aim at this and go straight over to the whatever this little line, whatever that line is right there. You got a lot of room to work with actually, but I like to do about right there. Throw it straight up. That should land right in front of this entranceway, and then boom, right? That gives you full control of all of this. So if your team's pushing through heaven, you pop that. That way you get angles on all these people while heaven's taking over the site, right?
Poison's off.
So just depending on where you're playing, you can do any of these smokes. If your team doesn't have mid control, I would recommend the heaven smoke or the heaven E, and then Q this. If your team has mid control, I would recommend this one. That way you don't have to, you know, try to cheat your way up here and then bounce it off the wall or something. You can do it that way you can get into sight. Because you can throw this down and then your team can execute and then you can pop it whenever you want to. Like you can throw that as soon as game starts, right? Okay, so really the only other thing you could possibly ask for from A side is a mid smoke from here. It's actually not that difficult to do. So the wall is going to be about right there. Whenever the game spawns, you can angle yourself up right here. And you see this corner right here? What you're going to do is you're going to aim a little bit above it, right? Because the higher you go, the closer it's going to be towards you. So I like to aim a little bit above, maybe to like there. And then as you throw it, it should come straight down. That should be pretty short. Yeah, short enough. And then that blocks off the entire mid for you, right? Which allows you to, one, either get up in here, tuck yourself off, and then go for a peek here. Or really just kind of keep control of it and play your different angles as you inflate it and uninflate it, right? So that's just a different way to get solo mid control. Maybe your team's pushing A or hard pushing B or something, and you just want to try to get mid control yourself. That's one way to do it. Okay, so if you're playing Viper, that's not open, so you can actually do the same thing to them. Angle it up to about there and then throw it. I don't think it's actually useful though, because if you're playing this spot right here, you can just throw it straight in yourself. But if for some reason you find yourself in a little tricky situation, you can just tuck yourself off back here, aim about at this, and it should land straight in. But I don't think it's that useful because you got your E, you got your Q early. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. But sometimes it is useful to have a deeper one in there, just in case. Maybe you get to mid late or something. That's one way you could do it. Pretty easy enough. I think you can actually cheat yourself off over here and then aim a little bit to the left of it. And it should do the exact same thing. But yeah. Okay, other things you can do with Viper if you're playing the defender side. This map's really defender sided, so you really don't have to do crazy things. You can just play your standard angles. But if you know they're going to try to do something crazy on A site, you can actually get your E down straight across into their stuff. What I like to do is angle it really far right, personally. You want to cut off the full angle, but you want to leave yourself room to poof this right here without having to tether the line, right? Because if you're tethering the line and walking through it, that's when you get messed up. So what I want to be able to do is jump down through here and then be able to hold these angles with my guy up there. And then obviously you have all of this. So if they're trying to do something A, you can just get on this and then angle it. And you can angle it from inside, actually. I should have shown that. But it's relatively easy. You just do the exact same thing with your angler from inside, and then you just cut this corner a little sharper. Okay, another thing you can do from the defender side, a lot of people underestimate how effective you can be pushing from the defender side. Now, it's a defender side of the map, like I said, so you want to be a little careful going too crazy. But what you can do, maybe you're on an eco or something, you can line yourself up on this box and then set it up to where you're cutting off the lanes right here. But what you're going to do is you don't want to hold it too far to the right. That way it cuts off all of your angles. Or if you hug it too far to the right, you're not cutting off any angles. You're going to have to walk through the smoke to peek everything. But you can angle it somewhere like this. Hold the right side of the box, right? And then just angle it up. That way it cuts off about half of it. And you'll see what this looks like. It's pretty useful. So then you can come out. This is a common peak spot, so if you block that off, Then you have all of this room to work with, and your team can kind of do whatever they want to. With their angles, screen comes down, they can push up around it, push through it, however they want to do it. Just a little aggro eco push. Okay, you can actually do the exact same thing from this side, but I like it a little bit better from this side whenever you're playing solo. So what you're going to do is you're going to hug it left far enough to where it cuts off that corner, and it also cuts off the doorway of mid, right? So you can do this from anywhere. You can do it from all the way up here. All you're doing is angle it farther and farther left, right? You can see the teal line. Yeah, what you're going to do is you're just going to throw this down. You want to leave yourself enough room to play around on the right. And then whenever you pop it, you should see... Yeah, I should pop this before I come in, obviously. But you should see that I have enough room on the right to play around, and then I can still peek this angle if I want to. But I have enough room on the right to actually play around without exposing myself to whoever's back here, if there's anybody there. So there's really not much else you can ask for in terms of smokes on this map. There's not really anything else that's really useful. I've played around. I found a little smoke from here onto the mid site. Obviously, I showed that one. I found the smoke from here straight back, right? All you do is angle yourself up a little bit over this. It's really, all of these are not that useful. This is a really defender-sided map, so I don't really like getting rid of my utility in weird ways like that. You're usually just going to throw this down right there. If they want to push through it, they can push through it, but this is a really defender-sided map, so they kind of get screwed if they try it. So I think I'm going to leave the video there. I'm still going to play around with it a little bit, try to find other smokes. If I find anything useful, maybe I'll update this video. But I think we've kind of covered everything. We've got really good A takes and defends, mid defends, and then we've got some B defends as well. So I think I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content, because probably later today or tomorrow I'll be back with the next map. Until eventually I have all the maps done with Viper, and then I'm going to move on to another character. So hopefully we'll have a comprehensive list on this channel for guides on different characters on the different maps, in-depth guides. So hope you guys enjoyed the content. Take it easy. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.